Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a speed build of the final lot I had to build for Brindleton Bay. If you're new here, hi, I'm JQ Honey and I've been working on a CC-free, one-pack only save file for The Sims 4. Now, Brindleton Bay has been the most highly requested rebuild ever since I started on this build project, so I'll be updating my save file once everything is ready. I still need to playtest many of the lots, so bear with me some 2 to 4 more weeks, guys. I also apologize in advance for my voiceover. It's 3 in the morning, my throat is so sore, and I need to be quiet a little because my husband and son are sleeping right behind me. I would find another time to do this, but the footage is already 1 week old. I'm afraid that if I keep putting this off, it'll never be done. So, this build is gonna be the vet clinic, and I'm building it over the Cat Scratch cottage lot in Whiskerman's Wolf. I'd made several attempts at this before. I finally settled on this version, and the only reference picture I used was this stock photo. And not even that, it was this specific bit of roofing. Now, to achieve that look, I needed a roof over a half wall. When you do roofing like this, any changes you make to the walls afterwards will cause the roof to disappear. So that's why I moved that roof out of the way a couple of times. You could finalize your layout before adding the half wall roof and thus avoid having to keep moving it out of the way, but I wasn't sure there would still be space to do that at the end, seeing as this is one of the 2 smallest lots on the map. Anyway, just ignore the repetitive roof adjustment. Other than the roof, I didn't really find much else that I would like to do for our vet clinic. An earlier version of this looked like 2 adjacent shop lots, which is fine. I mean, it looked nice too. But I realized I didn't want that look. Like someone bought 2 shop lots and refurbished them into a vet clinic. I wanted it to look like someone had set out to purposefully build a vet clinic here. And I hope I achieved this. I also hope you agree. Oh, but I did know that I wanted there to be columns all around. I think they're what make this build fit into this setting on the docks. I also personally feel that smack dab in the middle of the wharf is less than ideal for a residential lot to be placed here, which is why I moved the Lynx household to another lot. Speaking of, does anyone play with EA pre-mades? I mean, I kept them in my base game save file, and I am planning to still include them in my upcoming save file update, hopefully sometime this month or next. And I will also provide an uninhabited save file like before, but I do wonder if a lot more people would rather have a full save, like with all new families and such. What would you prefer in a save file? Please let me know in the comments. I can't promise anything, but it helps to know. And honestly, I do want to do a full save. It's just that I need so much time because I'm never satisfied with the stuff I make. I bulldoze and start over several times for almost every lot. I even have a few completed ones saved to my library, unshared because I didn't want them for my public save. But they're okay builds, you know. At one point I thought maybe I'll share them in a lot dump, but alas, I can't even be bothered to playtest them all. And a few of them are actually fully playtested too. And I also sometimes stumble upon my older builds and feel like I want to do them over. I don't, because I need to keep moving forward. But man, if I had the time, I would. Now that reminds me of another thing. I do read your suggestions about consistently sharing my individual lots, either in stop motion videos or speed build videos. Please know that I really do wish that I could do at least one of those. It's just that I can't right now. I simply don't have the time. I barely get free time even on the weekends. So for this personal project, my priority is to just build the lots. Stop motion would need a bajillion screenshots on top of figuring out how to sort them. And speed builds need, well, speed. I am the slowest builder out there. This one exists only because it's basically the 5th time I built this exact thing, and I edited out hours of me being indecisive over the colors or layouts or others. This originally took me 5 hours. Plus, I had to take long pauses a few times to tend to my son and make lunch and stuff. I bulldozed and rebuilt and bulldozed and repeat again, and then I had to speed up the recording 3.75 times because 4 times was overkill. I hope it's not still too fast. However, I really want to be more active on my channel, and I've been thinking about sharing something simpler instead. My only reason for pause is I'm not sure it hasn't already been done before. No, actually, it's definitely been done before, but hear me out. I was thinking of doing a build tutorial, but less instructional. It's more like a guideline. Well, maybe a little instructional, but the point is, what I have in mind doesn't seem like it'll take a lot of time for me to prepare, compared to doing stop motion or speed builds. And it's definitely more basic guides for maybe people who never even went into build mode before. I don't know. I'm still only thinking about this though. I haven't decided anything yet. I got nothing else to give. I hope you don't mind my rambling over this speed build. I just don't have 11 minutes worth of commentary on any one build. This one especially is pretty straightforward. I went with 2 exam rooms because I thought having just one would be bad for traffic, and I wanted the pet surgery machine even though it's not actually a lot requirement, because I wanted our clinic to be able to offer the full range of treatments. So that limited our exam rooms to just 2. I did try different layouts at first to be able to fit a vet's office room and leave the upper floors unused, but ultimately I couldn't work that out. Still, it's probably easier on your gameplay if your vet didn't need to return to their home lot every so often, right? So yeah, that's how we ended up with a really cramped living space on the upper floor. I would have just made that into the vet office, but since it's already on a different floor, I just figured, nah. And I chose the colors mint and pink because I really wanted something pink in my Brindleton Bay rebuild, and I still didn't have one yet. And I paired with mint because making it entirely pink didn't look great to me either. Fun fact, my wedding theme colors were mint and lilac. Oh, and speaking of colors, I saw the latest game update and they just added over 1,000 new swatches to the base game objects. I'm shocked, guys. I know a lot of people wanted a color wheel instead, and maybe this is an unpopular opinion, please don't come at me, but I never really wanted that level of customization when I play Sims. In fact, one of the reasons I never moved on to The Sims 3 and had instead stuck with The Sims 2 for the longest time was because I felt that the create a style tool was just overwhelming. I never even gave it a chance, which probably means that I'm missing out on a lot, but still. I'm already a slow builder. You give me that level of customization, I'm gonna be here all my life, never finishing a single thing. And I can't afford that, okay? So really, swatches work for me as long as I could have doors, windows, and furniture that match. It's the same with CAS for me, or CAS. I don't enjoy spending a long time there trying to create some exact iteration of a person, real or imagined. Trust me, I'm a Bumiputra Sabah. I don't know if even my fellow Simmers have heard of that. So I understand the struggle to find some level of representation of your identity in this game. So please know that I'm not making light of one of the biggest issues Simmers have with this game. This is coming from my own feelings of isolation within the Sims community. I just miss playing Sims. They used to be so much fun. I mean, I remember Angela and Lilith in The Sims 2 being so different when you play them, despite being genetically identical. You could go into their memories and find that their parents had taught Angela all the Sim toddler skills, but not Lilith, that Angela grew up well at every stage, whereas Lilith grew up bad at each time. Heck, the very first time you load up their household, they will get into a fight. Seriously, you have to divert them away yourself if you didn't want them to fight, because autonomously, they will. My point is, the Sims' actions during gameplay used to have lasting, somewhat tangible consequences, however limited they may have been. The Sims' autonomy used to be meaningful. In Sims 4, you could create however many Sims and they could look nothing alike, and yet so many of us actually get bored. They all get along fine with each other by default. Any differences they have in their traits, likes and dislikes are meaningless because none of those have any real impact on how they interact with each other. You get what I'm saying, right? But then, So many of the demands that are being made that I keep hearing has been for just more things, more hairstyles, more clothing styles, more objects. I get it. I swear, look, I only have that one single semi-Sharia compliant hijab to choose from. But for me, none of those things would add any substance to my game when all the Sims with their unique looks and styles all feel the same. I wish there were more hijab styles in CIS. But more than that, I wish some of this energy would have been directed towards fixing some core aspects of the gameplay. Oh guys, we're actually headed towards the end of this speed build. I didn't intend to end on a negative-ish tone. I was just suddenly overwhelmed by... I'm probably just sleepy. I'm gonna go to bed, and I hope I'll see you in the next video. Remember to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. Until later, bye!